I'm Dr. Kirby Thompson, licensed naturopathic doctor and acupuncturist, owner and operator of Wildflower Wellness. And today is Dr. Kirby's pick, April 2022. Can you believe it is 2022? Lord have mercy. Okay, so this month we're going to be talking about mistletoe. And if you all like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will get monthly updates and information about different herbal supplements, food products, different things, At this time, these are just things I like, things that I've seen patients like, things that have worked out well, things that, we've used and that said, people need to know about this. This is great stuff. Here's the research, Or if it's food, hey, this tastes great and it is pretty healthy. For most people. Remember, at Wildflower Wellness, we believe in individualized therapies. Not everybody can eat the same things. Not everybody can take the same things. Everything has a different response from the body depending on, your body. So, mistletoe. Whose body needs mistletoe? Well, let's talk about what mistletoe does. Mistletoe has been used in many things. In fact, mistletoe, as we know, is a parasitic plant. And we're specifically talking about two different types of mistletoe. The type of mistletoe, of course, depends on what plant, tree that the mistletoe is growing off of. So we're talking about the Viscum album and the Sangjishing, which is the Mulberry mistletoe. So European mistletoe and Mulberry mistletoe. And I will reiterate, if you look at our social media, I believe we are on Facebook. We have 2 pages on Facebook. We have 2 pages on Instagram, and we have Twitter. And we tweet under, I'm not sure, it's either we have Wildflower Wellness, LLC, and then we have Dr. Kirby Thompson, NDMSOMLAC, on Twitter and Instagram, and then on Instagram and Facebook, and then on Twitter, it's one of those 2. I'm not a big tweeter. Maybe I should. Let me know if I need to tweet more, and I can tweet more. I'm okay with that. Just whatever. Saw a really good movie about tweeting the other day, and I was like, maybe I should tweet. Anyway, so European mistletoe. Remember, the properties of mistletoe are going to be, mistletoe is used for this. However, it can slightly differ depending on what plant it's growing off of because of the biochemical nature of that tree, etc. So, what is it used for? Well, let's talk about it. It has been seen to be helpful in some cases of dermatitis, nervous system disorders, cardiovascular disease, uterine problems, bladder issues, intestines, and some cancers. And it also is immunomodulatory and is used in cases of, different types of viral illness. I will say in different types of viral illness, it is very important to know how to use the Viscum album, the mistletoe. Very important. Now, dermatitis. I think it's interesting that it's seen in dermatitis. In Chinese medicine, there are different types of dermatitis. But in most skin issues, what you have to do is tonify the blood. And in the cancers, it is very interesting that when I was reading some literature, it said it's used in some tumors and also in leukemias. Well, leukemias, right? That is, we blood tonification, so you do need to do that in the leukemia. Isn't that interesting? I just think that's interesting. So eventually what I find is that the Chinese and the modern naturopathic stuff usually coincides at some point. So cardiovascular, let's talk about that. Mistletoe can be vasodilating. What does that mean? Dilate. To dilate means make bigger. That increases oxygen flow, which can soothe the system and actually lower the blood pressure. As I've stated on some of our other social media, the mistletoe often is not used by itself, but in a formula with other things. In a protocol, sometimes I'll give it as a single tincture, but people are taking it with other things. And it just depends. I don't have a blood pressure problem. I'm taking it for other things, but I'm actually taking mistletoe at this time. I love that stuff. Now, nervous system. What is that? It can be I always say, calm your butt down, which can be very important for health. Remember, if you're unsympathetic all the time, your brain's not working right, your cardiovascular system eventually is going to give out, tendency towards high blood pressure, things like that. So it's really important to be calm. And as I describe what these things are for, you'll see a picture of a person who, may find this useful. Now, we always state that if you think you need an herb or something like that, make sure you check with your naturopathic doctor or natural health care practitioner. And if you don't have one, of course, we're happy to serve you. We love to serve our people, and we thank you all. We always thank our peoples. Okay, antispasmodic. Remember, it's calm. It brings oxygen. What does that do? Stops the spasm. Immunostimulatory. Now, remember, in different illnesses, you don't really want to stimulate certain directions. That's why it's really important to figure out what direction you need to go in. And it can increase NK cell activity. It can increase activity of tumor necrosis factor and interleukin-6. And so that makes it really it can be used in cases of like HIV and Hep C, but you have to be very careful because you can stimulate the cells in a certain direction, and then it veers off course. And that's some of the reason why we change up what people are doing, because if you go too far in another direction, you can create another issue. So just remember that. And anti-neoplastic, anti-tumor. Now, on our social media, what we discussed was the research is a little iffy. It is used not in the United States much, but in Europe more. And most of the tumor studies, most of the anti-tumor usage in the clinic, in a clinic, we don't do that here right now, intravenous stuff, but it is used intravenously. So, injections, things like that for the mistletoe. So not just taking it orally, but actually taking it through getting it in there. Very important. One thing that I did not mention is one of my favorite formulas that actually I have used with the peoples is called Cardio Compound. And it is Herbalist and Alchemist, and it's just very calmative to that cardiovascular system, and can actually be calmative to the nervous system, depending on who you are. And it's very good. It's Herbalist and Alchemist. That's David Winston. I always like to share different products with you. Now, antimicrobial. It has been shown to be antimicrobial in a few cases, inhibiting the growth of some funguses, staph, Pseudomonas, and a couple other things. But honestly, in reality, it is not often used by itself, but in conjunction. And you see that a lot in Chinese medicine, because in Chinese medicine, you rarely get a formula. You rarely get a single herb. You usually get a formula. So it would be in addition to the formula. So let's talk about and give you the information for the Chinese mistletoe, which is a little bit different. It's called Sang Jixing. Sang Jixing tonifies the liver and kidney yin. It strengthens the sinews and the bones. What does that mean? It means it can be used for like pain, low back pain, bringing nourishment to places, right? It expels the wind dampness, right? That's pain, absolutely. And atrophy, pain and atrophy. It nourishes the blood and calms the womb. So in Chinese medicine, if you have the right presentation, this herb can actually be used to calm the fetus while you're pregnant. It can be used for bleeding during pregnancy, and actually can promote lactation. So now it also nourishes the blood and benefits the skin. That's the dermatitis. Very interesting. Blood deficiency. And there are many different types of blood deficiency. Some of those are iron deficiency anemias, and some of those are B vitamin deficiencies. But you remember, you always have to get to the root. What I like about the herbs is I really do feel that, even though you're working on the branch, you still have to work on the root. I think they work on the root really well because it's not like it's everything all together. I love that. Now, in some of my literature, I have seen caution for use with the Sanjishing, that's mistletoe, Chinese version, in patients taking in patients taking anticoagulants, such as heparin, warfarin, which is Coumadin, Lovenox, and aspirin. Plavix, any kind of blood thinner. Be careful with that. And caution. Caution doesn't mean don't do it. It just means caution, know what you're doing. Concurrent use, be cautious with any kind of diuretic, because it may increase the elimination of water. So it can be used as a diuretic, and if you're already taking a diuretic, bam, there you go. That's too much. So I always like to make sure we caution that. Often in Chinese medicine, this Duzhong is used in conjunction with the Sanjishing, Mulberry mistletoe, to help with low back strength, soft tissue, strengthen soft tissue, and to relieve pain. So that's what I mean. There's the combinations of things, and we do a lot of that here. I like it. If you have any questions, if you'd like to schedule an appointment, whatever you need, just let us know. We appreciate you. We look forward to working with you. And remember, check with your natural health care provider before you start anything new, especially if you're taking other medications. If you are taking prescriptions, make sure you check with your prescribing physician in order to assess whether it's okay to add that or not. We appreciate you. We look forward to serving you. Give us a call or visit us online at www.wildflowerwellnessllc.com. Thank you so much and have a great day.